This may be the most important video I have recorded to date, and it comes straight from my heart. Let me share a quick story with you that inspired this video. I was at a dealership last week and went outside to make a phone call, and as I stood outside making my call, a manager and 3 salespeople came outside to have a private meeting. However, even after glancing over at me and seeing me, they proceeded with their meeting, seemingly not caring if I overheard them. Each one of them began to share with the others what other dealerships in the area were having better months than they were having, what it might be like for them all to work for other dealerships, and what this particular dealership would be like without them. Well, I finished my call, and after finishing my meeting at the dealership, I began my 2-hour drive home, all the while being very disheartened, yet challenged by this private meeting. Let me say this to you here and now. It does not matter what position you have or who you are. You need to purposely develop and have an all-in attitude. The definition of all-in is this: to be fully committed to a task, endeavor, job, or relationship, and to give or be prepared to give all of your energy and or resources toward it. I believe that this all-in attitude is vitally important in 5 areas of our lives if we are going to really experience true success. I have a little acronym for the 5 areas of being all in, and it's the word RACER, R-A-C-E-R. Our lives are a marathon race, and many times we turn it into a bunch of short sprints and lose focus of the length of the race. Are we a racer who choose to run a race to win all areas of our lives, or are we giving up and accepting eventual defeat? Let me start with the first letter R. R stands for relationships. You first need an all-in attitude, and it needs to begin with your attitude toward your present relationships with your spouse, friends, family, etc. People come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Life is not all mountaintop experiences of joy, fun, happiness, and success. Life has valleys of disappointment, discouragement, and defeat. It is in those times you need to rely on and cherish those relationships that you have. If you have given your relationships your all-in attitude, your spouse, friends, and family will not only be there for you when you need them, but you will be the one they can count on when they go through their valleys in life. A recent study by Harvard University found that 42% of poor attitudes and performances in the workplace are driven by fractured or broken relationships in the workers' lives. Next in our RACER acronym is the letter A. A stands for attitude at work. Whether you have a title of a leader or not, we are each a leader to others around us. We may not recognize it or realize it, but your attitude is not only infectious to others, but it leads others in their attitudes. Now, let me explain. We all have a memory of a person, whether current or in the past, who was or is a great encourager to us, who was or is a very positive person, always seeing opportunity and not defeat, and who was or is never willing to give up on a project or a person. The absence of negativity in that person, whether through speech and or actions or attitude, make or made that person be someone you wanted to be around or follow. The workplace is a unique setting in that your attitude can have a rippling effect on all those around you and can either positively or negatively affect your co-workers' attitudes and performance. Are you an encourager, a positive person, or are you a negative Nancy, always expecting defeat and finding fault? Well, next is the letter C. C stands for commitment. Commitment is always easy when times are great. It's easy for you to be committed to your employer and fellow employees when everything at work is going in your favor, with your sales going up, your paychecks growing, and everyone willing to help you out. But what does your commitment look like when times are tough? When customers are few and sales are slowing down and you don't get those big paychecks? Are you committed to your dealership to work harder and make a positive impact toward pulling it out of this slow time? Or are you the one with one foot already out the door mentally and ready to jump ship to where you hear the grass is greener? Success is built on commitment in the tough times, not just riding the waves of good times. Anyone can be committed during those good times, but true winners in life are those whose commitment remains strong in the tough times. The best coaches and players are those who bring a team out of a losing streak or a player out of a slump. The next letter in our acronym of RACER is the letter E. E stands for effort. Being all in with your effort means that you approach every activity at work with 110%, giving your best, and after you finish the task or activity, you can look yourself in the mirror and say that you did all you could to the best of your ability to achieve the best result. That means that in each step of the sales process, you gave the maximum effort. If you did not close the sale, you gave the maximum effort in follow-up. You see, it's easy to put your effort in cruise control and just glide through each step. But it takes real mental focus and commitment to consciously give your maximum effort to each step of the sales process with your customer and also to the follow-up with that customer. Well, our last letter in the acronym of RACER is again the letter R. This last R stands for risk. When most people hear the term all in, they immediately think of the Texas Hold'em poker tournaments on TV and a player pushing all of his chips into the middle of the table and pronouncing to the other players that he is going all in. He is risking all that he has in an effort to win that hand. Risk is the biggest hurdle mentally because it involves failure. When you are all in, the risk of failure is seen as a step in growing and getting better, not a personal loss exposing acceptance of defeat. All-in risk means that you never shy away from an opportunity for success, and if success is not gained, you do not allow a defeated attitude or a not worth the risk attitude, but rather you look at that lost opportunity, you analyze it personally, and you see how you can grow and become better because of it. So here again is the challenge. Be all in. Remember, all in means to be fully committed to a task, endeavor, job, or relationship, and to give or be prepared to give all of your energy and resources toward it. And that involves in relationships, in attitude, in commitment, in effort, and in risk. Four very successful football coaches, Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Bill Belichick, and Joe Gibbs, all stated and coached with the philosophy that they won and or are winning with a team of all-in players. And that if a player is not all in, they didn't want that player, and they certainly don't want them on their team. Today, right now, are you willing to go all in?